XRP on a short-term chart shows you this pattern. What next? How will the market react to this pattern in XRP? Yes, it is a bull flag, and that shows the price can go up enormously. Can the breakout happen in this week and then break all the way to the upside? Or we are coming back down to test this level of support before we bounce off? We need to look at that and have a proper understanding before we step forward. But keep these charts in your mind and you will not have a confusion about what the market is about to do. This is Altcoin market. That's total 3. Showing you something special which you should not miss. And that kind of takes you back into the past. And whenever you see such a region in the price action, and understand the fact that both of these are happening at the same time, yeah, that matters a lot. It kind of takes you towards the memory lane, showing you this is what happened last time. But how will you break those down? You will have to look through different charts. One, this is Ether. If you take Ether to USD, you see such a pattern. What does that mean? Then you go take Ether to Bitcoin, because that's one of the large cap altcoins. You need to know what it's doing before you have an idea what the Bitcoin dominance is showing you. So now we're going to break all of that down here as quickly as possible. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We've been going through the macro updates, finding negative divergence, which asset has it and which asset does not. Then we started going in to the BTC pairs of these assets. Why? Because I think breaking them down one by one, understanding which altcoin shows you the odds of running higher than Bitcoin gives you the advantage. Why? If the Bitcoin dominance here is trending to the downside, yes, you are going to get micro drops, micro bounces based on this trend line. That is okay. That's a new trend formation, and that is what we will follow until that reverses. So you have a trend line. While that was happening, you know how the market reacted. But what matters way more than that is the macro trend line. Now, focus on the weekly to monthly trend line here. That gives you a bit more clarity or clear idea that this phase is what's more important. A break to the downside here matters a lot more. From here, if the price action is dropping, that means that's going to be a big fake out. And on a monthly, it will be confirmed as a huge push for the altcoin market. Now, why would I say confirmed? Because I'm using that term after watching the RSI getting rejected and pushed lower for a continuation pattern after the rejection in front of you. So that's a monthly. Monthly usually gives you way more confirmation than the weekly, than the 3-day, than a daily. We all know that. Now, take that perspective and step into the total crypto market. So Bitcoin is slowing down, but then all coins show you I developed a negative divergence for sure, but now I'm attempting to break that. So I'm like, okay, fine. I want to see what the hell is happening. Fine. Now I'm looking at the volume. This candle gave you the negative divergence. Yeah. So now I'm looking at that particular candle in total. Now, don't misunderstand. Total crypto market. And that shows there was a lot of selling volume. But the price kind of failed to push back below that critical support, or even 80% of the previous candle. That shows, okay, sellers are weak. So what's happening? Then you break it down, you look at the next region, which is what we are having now. You're starting to get maybe somewhat like 60% volume in buying compared to the previous candle. And now you're already erasing the previous month. Now, yeah, it's just 5th of the month. You have a long way to go for this month. But are we going to break through this range? We need to understand that because the monthly shows you I'm still overbought, and we all know what happens when you enter back into the overbought territory. We have seen that. When you get rejected the first time and re-enter there, you know what happens. History has shown us whenever the monthly goes for such a region, price action goes crazy. Fine. Now that's the total altcoin market. Now I'm honestly confused at the first before I was doing my proper analysis. Because for me, I was like, Bitcoin is showing me that it had a negative divergence on a weekly, which kind of gave a lot of confirmation. Because when I do look at this, the volume was fine in Bitcoin terms on a monthly. I mean, look at the volume. The volume was very little and the selling pressure was similar. Fine. There was no difference. So the divergence was valid on a monthly. Now I enter on a weekly and it says like, okay, I'm still having the negative divergence. But the odds are there can be one more negative divergence, which is this kind of a leg here. Yeah? Why? Last time around, you had this as a negative divergence and then this as a negative divergence, which marked your top. So what can be that shaky structure this time around, which may kick or surprise the retail? I would argue it's this. The odds for something like this happening is now improving, meaning whales are playing on that game. So you have first negative divergence here, and in between that first to second, you had a lot of time. So this is what happened back in 2021. Right now, you already have one peak here, and you're forming the second, but you didn't get the initial negative divergence. So you are forming both of them together, which means the trap is coming. I mean, look at the Google Trends and you're going to get the better understanding of what I'm talking about. And that means whales need to exit. So the Google Trends kind of confirm you don't have mass euphoria here. You don't have a lot of that retail money entering to buy now so that the whales can move out. So they can actually give you an attempt to bring in mass liquidity. And that should be a range where you're re-attempting above 100,000 or close to 100,000. So the risk of that is that's just giving you maybe 5 to 10% odds, showing you're trying to bounce off from the moving average. But we have seen such cases before. Whether that's going to be a trap or whether that's going to be the buying area, you'll have to see. But the market condition shows you already have a negative divergence confirmed. So that's on a weekly for Bitcoin. Now take all of those and come into the altcoin ecosystem. So you're watching the total 3 and comparing it with the total crypto market. Total crypto market shows you the fact that it is having negative divergence on a weekly and a monthly. That's a bit too much. Then we come on here. You're watching this. It is giving you the idea total 3 is not forming a lower high on the RSI. Here, for the total market, it is. Why? Because of Bitcoin. So the altcoin market is saying, I'm forming kind of a shaky negative divergence, but with that amount of volume, I'm still not going down. Remove all of those and look at the volume to the price action. Now we get the point. In Bitcoin, you didn't have volume. In total crypto market, you had volume, but the volume was in altcoin. So the shaky part of the market was in altcoin. Now, why am I arguing that point? Because if you're on a monthly, you're on a quarterly chart, what you're watching is clarity. What do I mean by clarity? Pick that chart up into a quarterly. This is what you actually see. Your last stop back in 2021 was here. Now we are above that. So very limited amount of people look for these. And that kind of a run up happens before the candle closes. So here It started where? That's the easy question. You're starting here and you have the Jan, the Feb to actually push this guy all the way to the upside. And we have seen such run ups. And if you do look at it on the quarterly, look at the RSI. Some people ask, why does that matter? Then you come here to compare the exact same thing. So you come here on the total crypto market and bring up quarterly chart and watch for this. The RSI entering that range. You see the price action? What is the price doing? Yeah, that's something important. That's exactly what happens in the market. So is it the Bitcoin bringing in the liquidity, or is it some of these altcoins bringing in that enormous amount of liquidity? So in here, XRP is clearly showing you I'm well above. Now, you're not even going into a quarterly chart for XRP. By the time you reach the monthly, you're already super bullish on this asset. If you are to pick up the quarterly chart on XRP, like you did for Bitcoin, like you did for the total crypto market, this is what you see. When you're in this range, it's that time where you just go up. And it's not that first candle which breaks through this range. It's the next candle which pops. So now when you're in Jan, think about the entire Jan and Feb entering into March, going through a parabolic run up. And XRP still argues, I'm going to do that. The only question is, do you really care about the short-term volatility? If you do, yes, you have a lot to think about. You will scratch your head. But if you don't really care about those and you've been holding this asset, going through the ups and downs, fine. All that you have to look at is the push to the upside, and that's coming. Before that, you may see the price action doing this, making a bull flag, maybe even wicking a little bit to the downside, and then boom. This can happen. Why? You're looking at a trend line on a daily or a 3-day, which is surprisingly parabolic in nature. It's increasing momentum, right? We don't know whether it's going to come back down to this level, but as of now, it's getting supported with higher momentum. And that means the price action is making the previous resistance as a support. So for XRP, that's all great. Now, take XRP against Bitcoin so that you understand the macro. It kind of aligns with everything we just spoke about. You put it on a monthly, get a macro, and now look at the RSI. Plot one line. That one horizontal line confirms almost everything which I've been talking about. You're looking through that breakout of 56, below which you were from 2017. So it's 2024, 2025 where you're breaking through that. Last 3 times when you broke above that, what was the top for XRP? You see, one here, great. The next time it was here, which was kind of close. Then the next time it was here. All of those argues the price action reached that level. Now, in conservative terms, that kind of gives you an idea. XRP has to go back and match that XRP to Bitcoin ratio. How much should XRP go up if Bitcoin is still going up? Or how much should XRP go up if Bitcoin is slowing down and coming down? What makes more sense for you? I mean, some people still argue that Bitcoin is going to 200,000, 500,000. Whichever team you belong to, understand what the market is showing you. What the sentiment is showing you is way more important than which team you belong to. Whether you are in the XRP team or the Bitcoin team or the crypto team, it doesn't matter. If you understand what the market is showing you, that gives you the opportunity and ability to take the capital out. That is going to be way more important this time as you break through this resistance. Now, say your portfolio has a lot more assets than XRP. Now, yeah, you need to do the same analysis for all those assets. If you have 10-20% in other assets, It does matter, but XRP prevails. So that's why in the SI family, we're going through a breakdown of all these other assets, giving you guys the right idea. So if you want to follow that, use the link in the description below, jump in and get the right value to make sure the market is aligned with your portfolio, or your portfolio is pushed to align to this market structure. Because if you have next 2 months, next 3 months, and the market is showing you this, that's the time where you should be focused. Yes, you can go down to a 6-month chart. Yes, you can go down to a yearly chart, but you don't have much of a data to analyze this total structure for total 3. That's why I stopped at quarterly. In quarterly, you can actually see where the RSI is and where it was during the last peak. Why is that important? This time you're making a higher high and you're trying to enter the overbought region as you're entering the all-time highs. What's the benefit of all-time highs? The price discovery. You go crazy. But the trouble is, you really don't know which of these assets in the crypto market is about to go through those kind of a ride to the upside. So that's why having an understanding of all these assets and the ability to understand them in the scientific investor family matters. So Ether to Bitcoin, still choppy, still slowing down. You have multiple trend lines which you can actually draw, but all of them fails. It broke to the downside. Fine. We saw XRP to Bitcoin and we understand how bullish that is. But now you also do understand the market is about to perform. The current volume, the current structure of the market is going to be that choppy range. But once you move out into these higher time frame charts, you kind of get into it. Yes, the shorter time horizon, looking for next 10 days, next 20 days, it is choppy. Unless you kind of have a macro picture and you're looking for the right stuff. What is happening? We had a breakout, the 1, the 2. We need a retest and a bounce. So this is your trend line. So can we gather that momentum? Are you levered to the teeth? You need to think about it. If you're trading with 5% of your portfolio, that's an entirely different story. 95% is in the long-term assets, blue chips pumping. That's fine. But if you're trading with 50% or 100% of your portfolio, now you need to think. That's going to be very risky at this part of the cycle. You need to know where you are. Are you at the bottom of the cycle or are you somewhere close to the top? You need to make the right decision. So guys, if you receive value, smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.